Oh, you sinner, sinner, sinner. Hallelujah.
I want to talk about the new album.
Sure.
I've seen the artwork.
Yeah.
It's called Death of a Bachelor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it is. Yeah. Throw out my wife. Why? Yeah.
Talking about
Sure.
what's maybe one topic that you haven't talked about that we're going to hear on this album? Is there a lyric on this album?
There's a song called it's a love song about Charlie Sheen. It's just so cool to think about how far I've come and then Charlie Sheen's past.
Next song, LA Devotee. Okay.
You got two black eyes from loving too hard, and a black heart that matches your blackest soul. I wouldn't change it. Oh, wouldn't ever try to make you leave. No.
I'm gonna guess he. Jeez, this is tough. Like, is
Coast was your sign, and a Midwest wind, Pisces rising, wouldn't change it. Oh.
he's making it tough as hell to figure out what he's talking about, and I think that's just intentional. I don't know if he's just trolling his audience or something, but man, like, why are you just wording this so overcomplicated? There's a difference between deep and just trying to be a dick. Not to say that he is. It just seems like that he is literally trying to do that. Because I'm sitting back here, it's like two black eyes from loving too hard. So, you know, it's heartbroken. Black car matches your blackest soul. Your soul is dead. You're dead inside. But it's okay because he loves you anyways. He would never try to change you. And I guess it's a sentimental song. It's okay for what it does. It just feels like it just too much just flies over my head without actually diving into it. He did all the instruments, man. It might be programmed or something, or maybe he played them. I think that he's doing a really good job. Like, considering this is a solo project, that's really impressive. This sounds fine. The sound oftentimes does not feel like it's filled out, which I guess is a lot of, in part, maybe because the whole band isn't there. You can tell that there's, like, people missing. However, he does a reasonable job at filling in those spots. It's not that bad. Like, it's extremely catchy. The production's not bad at all. I mean, it's really interesting. So he's brought up two different zodiac symbols, Pisces and Aries. Now, I mean, it absolutely seems like he's talking about a different person. Maybe in LA, he's switching bitches. He's going from A to B and leaving behind B. Oh, wait, whoa, hold on, wait a minute. What if he's the one who's causing these blackened eyes and darkened soul? What if he's the guy who's a girl hopping and he's constantly going from chick to chick to chick? Maybe it's like one night stands. I mean, hell, what if the first one was like the one leaving, the next one's the one coming in? That's interesting. That's weird. Hear that bass? He put together this whole thing. You gotta have a real, like, ear to create just this super catchy, playful vibe. I think this is the first time I can say that he nailed the chorus. First time, seriously. It's just explosive enough. It does its job in a really good way. Oh wait, shit, that's where it ended. Why did I do that extra? Oh, whatever. The song was good. I liked it. It had a lot of things that were very admirable. Next song, Golden Days.
I found a pile of Polaroids in the crates of a record shop.
Bring the noise from the that's what that reminds me of instantly. Just putting it out there. Noise from So I don't know what the goal was of this album, to just make nothing stand out. Words. It is words hitting me and doing zero, even though it's like supposed to mean something. He really nailed that, and that's not a good thing. Even though I can imagine that it's not fake, it just makes it fake by default. I hear this and I'd pull zilch out of what you're saying. Songs of this album, considering it's every instrument's by one person, man. How the hell do you not call up like freaking John Coltrane? Oh, that's how. Oh, now call up Kamasi Washington. He'll play some saxophone for you. But geez, do you have to really do everything? Like everything? No, you don't. He managed to do it and pull it off, so I'm kind of proud. That's impressive.
And the clock just makes the colors turn to gray.
Clever line. Okay, there you go.
All the memories that we made. Stay drunk, we'll stay
Oh, wow. Good job. You felt the rise and then it stuck at that rise and then descended and it felt smooth and soft and it actually worked when it came into the hook.
the caviar and dancing cars. The glitter dancing on the skin.
The vampires, the blood-sucking vampires, man. I've watched enough Twilight to know where this is going. I mean, I've never watched Twilight. Shut up. Okay, who even talks about Twilight anymore? Why would I even bring that up? I should have forgotten about that crap. So well built sonically. It's so multi-layered. My enjoyment may have to do with me understanding that this is like a solo project where he like did near everything and it came out this good. That's really fascinating. You got your massive duds in the track listing, no doubt about it. But it's songs like these that are really just highlights that show like, damn, you know, and he knew what he was doing. And that just shows a lot of musical talent and knowledge. So really just props to the dude. That's really impressive. Oh, okay, it's obvious. My Chemical Romance influence. That's why. This song is so... I can pull influences, obviously, from almost every genre besides emo. Here's the first reference I see. This is a My Chemical Romance, inspired track. Big time. And I'm not just saying that because I enjoy it. The way that it's built up is so obvious. And it's so much noisier than, any other track. Yeah, great song. Not a lot to complain about. Next song, The Good, the Bad, and the Dirty.
The good, the bad, and the dirty.
Really?
Truth is that it was always going to end. The symphony buzzing in my head.
That is dirty, Jesus!
True, all of the good girls act so good. Turn the memory to stone.
Oh god, this song is actually dirty. Seriously. The way that it's built is freaking great. I got no complaints for the sound of this thing already. What a freaking wonderful build-up. So I don't know what to compliment first. Sonically it's very subtle, but man, as it goes up, there's so many little details. This thing is such a detailed track. And the explosion into the chorus worked. Thank God. I was so tired of flaccid explosions.
It's like to have to trade the ones that you don't think I'll ever use the day of my education. I got the final judgment.
Okay, that line, I hate to say it, it's punchy. That sticks out like a sore thumb. Except for it's not a sore thumb, it's a golden thumb. Because there's nothing sore about that line. He nailed the attitude on this song. He really did. That is so cliche. What is this? You just went from this amazing attitude to this bullshit. Is this supposed to be the good, the sad, and the dirty? What is this sappy BS? I did not sign up for this, man. You just killed the tone entirely. I get that you called it good, bad, and dirty. Maybe he's trying to capture every phase, but did you really have to kill the tone? Stop it. Get some help. Oh God, dude. What is wrong with you? The chorus sounds phenomenal under it, but geez, what a vibe killer. It's hard to look past the fact that almost ruined the song. He got close. He almost did he almost did a screw up there, and I swear to God, I was gonna get really triggered, but it's still a really good song. Despite that massive lull in the middle of the track, I enjoyed really everything else. Next song, second to last song, House of Memories. Yeah, this gives me a chance to talk about the Void's album. Because goddamn, that album is amazing that came out this year. It knew how to make really catchy rock beats and just implement electronics into them extremely well. Here, it just, as soon as that built up and I hit it, that was the first thing I thought of, because it just sounds like something that did better. It falls flat in just totally in comparison to anything off of that album.
If you're a lover, you should know the lonely
Oh, God.
moments just your dreams become a taboo. I don't want to.
What is this? Is this supposed to be dance or is this supposed to be rock? What are these lyrics? They stick out like cringe, like needles, man.
The deeper that I go, it takes my breath away. And is this taboo? Memories.
I think that the register is great though. He really hits this like flat. He hits a lot of sharp notes, and I think that they add this interesting contrast, and I guess you go with spookiness to the song. Interesting. I like his range. However, I cannot forgive. A lot of what he's saying here just seems so basic, especially in comparison to everything else. I complained about it being too complex. Now it's way too damn basic, and there's so many standout cringy lines. I mean, it's just become like a shooting gallery at this point.
In your house of memories.
At least he has an understanding of filling out the sound, because there you heard the bass that was really well implemented. There were plenty of highs, middles, and lows.
I was a fool. Baby, we built this house on memories.
That's how you do it. If you're gonna sneak in sub bass, first of all, fuck you for adding sub bass. Second of all, if you're gonna sneak it in, that's how you do it. You hide it. You hide it subtly. Death of a Bachelor, the song, did not hide the sub bass. It did such a bad job. It like put like a tissue over it. You're not fooling anyone. Here it does a good job at hiding it, because it does work in filling out the sound, so it's extremely excusable. Once again, another song with plenty of admirable traits, but essentially it just fails with very odd and really just off-kilter writing from the rest of the album. Maybe it would work better as a standalone track, but in context to the album, it just does not really compare in terms of anything. Not just compare quality, I just mean like compare in general. There's almost nothing that really compares throughout this entire album. In fact, there is no concept. But on the same note, I still think that a lot of the things he did with production are very admirable. And yeah, it's still an okay track. So we're just gonna jump to the last track, Impossible Year. This is the final track, you guys, off of the album. Let's do it. It's Father John Misty. I see. Naturally the dying man wonders to himself,
Had he successfully beaten back the rising tide?
There's no source this impossible year. Only black days and sky gray.
is this finally the Frank Sinatra we deserve?
And storms full of sorrow.
So I'm guessing he's either going with Impossible Year as being the year itself is impossible to get over, or to basically look past and move past the impossible obstacles that have been placed in his way, or it's an impossible year as in, how is this shit even possible? How are there so many damn clouds of sorrow and fear? How are there so many storms? How is the world falling and falling in my skin apart? Only black days and dark skies, yeah, rays. What?
There's no good times. I swallow.
My issue with this song is it just doesn't progress. I mean, the thing is I like it, but as the song goes on, I realize they just kind of finding different ways of saying the same thing.
There's no you and me. There's no good time.
So I'm gonna make a comparison because the My Chemical Romance album I listened to, Black Parade, felt like it did such a better job at encapsulating this emotion. While I do enjoy his singing, I think he sung really well on here, and I do like what he's saying. He could have sold it so much better. He doesn't sound broken at all. It almost sounds like he's trying to get sympathy. I know it's probably extremely unintentional, but it's just, it comes off in a weak way that I know he was not trying to do. When you say there's no sunshine, there's no you and me, there's no good times, it should actually sound like there's some sorrow behind it. There should sound like there's some meaning. That way I'm here sitting and I'm contemplating the year and thinking, man, was this really the worst year of the universe? I mean, this album came out in 2016, so I know it was. But unfortunately, it's not 2016 anymore, so it's not the worst year. And yeah, that's the entire album. That is Death of a Bachelor. And that's quite impressive. Like, when people tell me that this is going to be a solo project and that it was going to be like laid back, not nearly as explosive, I expected some serious garbage. My expectations were dirt. As the album kept going on, my expectations just leveled out almost instantly because it had a really strong opener. It put its feet down instantly. And I'm really impressed with the way that this whole album went. The dude did everything himself. That is so admirable. Even though there were plenty of duds, there were plenty of lulls, lots of low points. Choruses were just such a failure for the whole first part of this album. But it really just picked up near the end. I think that this project really did a good job at carrying its feet near the end. Writing specifically was really underwhelming. I'd say throughout the entire album. There were plenty of places where it just either too simple or just too trying to be overcomplicated. And I pulled very little, if anything, out of this album conceptually. There's really just zero concept that goes throughout here. And if he's trying to go for concept, then he just absolutely failed. However, if it's not a concept, I feel like it's a reasonable arrangement of tracks, and I don't think that it sways off too much from the sound that's going for it. I mean, when I say that, I mean it's like crazy sways off. Like there's huge separations between tracks. However, it's not like Fall Out Boy Mania separation where you're just sitting track to track like, what is wrong with you? I mean, I really did pull quite a bit of enjoyment out of it. However, there were just so many points where I just thought, wow, this could be so much better. I feel like the ambition just is not there. But there is the new Panic album coming out, and let me tell you, from the first two tracks that I've heard, I have high hopes. The two singles released from that album were just so immediate. They were really just punching in your face, and they encapsulated every single thing that I wanted from this album. So I feel like when I'm comparing everything to those two tracks, I have to say that while this is a reasonable project, I still think that he could have done way better. I hope so much that with the upcoming project, that he really takes this, he takes his sound and he really refines it. He gets writing like he did with Silver Lining. It's not too overcomplicated, trying to run through everything and be ADHD crazy just to seem like you're, you know, all over the place and ooh, look at me. My overall score for this album is a 6++. Really cool ideas going throughout it. I definitely say listen to it and pull out some of your favorite tracks. My personal favorites had to be LA Devotee, Golden Days, and Crazy Equals Genius. Least favorite, of course, being Death of a Bachelor, which was just a mess of a track that could have been so much better. Anyways, my name is Bradley. I have a Brad taste in music. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and leave a comment. If you want to support what I do, make sure you check out my Patreon. Make sure you hit notifications. Make sure you hit your grandchildren. Don't do that, please. I do not advocate that behavior at all.